AITAH for wanting to dump my fiancée after she injured herself while I was away. While I 30 meters was away on business, my fiancée 30 decided to go out without telling me. We spoke in the afternoon. I was on my way to the airport ahead of an 8-hour flight, which was arriving at 5 a.m. Her friend had just come back from out of state, and she was planning on taking her out to dinner. Once I landed, I didn't want to wake her, as she normally gets up around 7. I got home and she wasn't there. Her car was parked outside, but she wasn't in bed. For a moment I panicked and thought she had gone to surprise me at the airport and I somehow missed her. But her car was outside. I called her and her phone rang to voicemail. I called 10 more times while I shower and change. At first I wasn't too worried, thinking maybe she went for a run, but the scenarios running through my head were getting darker. We have our phones on our iCloud accounts in case we lose them, so I bring it up to find her location. Her iPhone was at the hospital. My heart sank. I start heading to the hospital. All her family live out of state, so there's no one to call. The hospital is 10 minutes away. I speed, run red lights, park right in front of the emergency department door and go in like a maniac, demanding the triage staff tell me where my wife is. They take me to her room. She's asleep in bed, but I can immediately see she's hurt. Her lip is swollen and she looks like she's been beaten up. Bruises on her face, splint thing on her nose. My panic and worrying morph into rage, and I demand to know what happened and who did this to her. I was informed that she arrived in an ambulance at 2 a.m., having drunkenly stumbled and face-planted onto the curb while leaving a bar. She had a broken nose, chipped tooth, and other minor abrasions and scratches, but she was going to be fine. This made absolutely no sense. I seriously feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I don't drink, never have, and she hasn't touched alcohol since college basically. I don't even know what's happening at this point. She's tried to offer some kind of explanation about how her friend pressured her to have wine while they were at dinner, and then they somehow ended up in a bar. She apparently has no recollection and teleported there. I've been giving her the silent treatment, and it's 8 p.m. She has been crying and wanting some sort of consolement or reassurance, but I genuinely think I'm done. This whole thing just came out of left field, and I'm not handling it well at all. We've been living together since we got engaged, and it would be a pretty clean split. Her parents own the house, so I can basically just take my stuff and go, I guess. I really don't know what to do. We've been together a year and a half, and I feel like we could get past this, but it's like this whole ordeal and the emotional roller coaster have sapped away the love I felt for her. Anyways, sorry for the novel, but WIBTA, if I dump her, update, she broke off the engagement. We had a long talk, and apparently I've been cold and unsupportive. I disagree, but whatever, and she feels betrayed by my attitude. She thinks my expectations are unrealistic and that she's a human, not a robot. She said she needs someone who can let her fail, and I am not that person. We broke up after being engaged for 6 months. One night, when we were at her parents' place, her father gave it to me as a gift. It was shortly after we got engaged, and it wasn't my birthday or anything like that. There was no occasion. He just gave it to me and said, I want you to have this. He took it off his wrist. I'm unlikely to ever see him again as he lives in California and I live in New York. He hasn't asked for it back, nor has my ex. I doubt she has any clue what it's worth, but I've had it appraised and it's worth over $70,000. WIBTA if I keep the watch and don't say anything.